The concept of four-dimensional beings, often referred to as 4D beings, explores the idea of entities that exist in a higher dimensional space beyond our familiar three-dimensional world. While we perceive reality in terms of length, width, and depth as three dimensions, some theories propose that there could be additional dimensions that are imperceptible to us. Proponents of these theories suggest that these entities would have the ability to move and interact with our 3D world in ways that would seem miraculous or impossible to us. For example, just as a 3D object can pass through a 2D plane without breaking it, a 4D being could potentially move through 3D space without being constrained by walls or barriers. Some theorists even propose that 4D beings could have the ability to see and manipulate time, as time is often considered to be the fourth dimension in physics. In this context, 4D beings might be able to perceive past, present, and future simultaneously, or even interact with and alter events across different points in time. Certain spiritual and philosophical beliefs also entertain the notion of higher dimensional entities, such as deities or celestial beings, that possess abilities and knowledge beyond human comprehension. The concept of an eighth continent refers to the theory that there may be an undiscovered or hidden landmass on Earth, beyond the 7 continents currently recognized. Some proponents of this idea speculate that the eighth continent could be located in the Pacific Ocean, often pointing to the existence of numerous underwater plateaus and seamounts that could potentially be the remnants of a sunken landmass. Others suggest that the eighth continent might be found in the Arctic or Antarctic regions, where vast areas remain unexplored or covered by ice. Advocates of the eighth continent theory often cite ancient maps, such as the Piri Reis map, which allegedly depict landmasses that do not correspond to the known continents, as potential evidence for the existence of an additional continent. Some fringe theories even propose that the eighth continent could be the legendary lost continent of Atlantis or Lemuria, which are said to have disappeared beneath the ocean in ancient times. Zealandia, a vast underwater landmass to the southeast of Australia, is believed by many geologists to be Earth's eighth continent. Although 95% of Zealandia is submerged beneath 1 to 2 kilometers of water, recent research has revealed compelling evidence supporting its continental status. The idea of Zealandia as a continent gained traction in 2017 when scientists put together several lines of evidence, including the types of rocks it contains and its relative thickness, which is more consistent with continental plates than oceanic ones. Zealandia is thought to have formed around 83 million years ago, during the late Cretaceous period, as the supercontinent Gondwana began to break up. It's believed that all or part of Zealandia may have existed as an island for a while before it disappeared beneath the ocean around 25 million years ago. Much of Zealandia may never be inhabited by land-based life, but it may nevertheless still be the eighth continent. 9/11 predicted in media refers to the belief that various forms of media, such as movies, TV shows, and even cartoons, contained references or clues foreshadowing the September 11th terrorist attacks before they occurred. Proponents of this theory point to several instances in popular media where they believe 9/11 was alluded to or symbolically represented. One commonly cited example is the 1999 film The Matrix, in which the main character's passport is shown to expire on September 11th, 2001, a detail some interpret as a hidden warning of the impending attacks. Another example often mentioned is an episode of the cartoon The Simpsons from 1997, which features a magazine cover with the numbers 9/11 alongside a depiction of the Twin Towers, suggesting a possible prediction of the attacks. Some theorists also claim that the 1993 movie Super Mario Bros. Contains a reference to the event years before the actual attacks took place. Believers in this theory argue that these references are too specific to be mere coincidences, and that they could be the result of insider knowledge or a warning from individuals aware of the planned attacks. They suggest that the entertainment industry may be used to subtly plant clues or prepare the public subconsciously for future events. However, skeptics argue that these alleged predictions are the result of confirmation bias, where people actively seek out and interpret information to support their pre-existing beliefs. They point out that with the vast amount of media produced, it is not surprising to find coincidental references that can be linked to significant events after they have occurred. While the idea of 9/11 being predicted in media continues to fascinate some individuals, the majority of people view these claims as speculative and lacking substantial evidence.
Like this video and subscribe to Maker.
The concept of the 40th tithe refers to a belief held by some religious groups, particularly within Christianity, that an additional tithe or offering should be given beyond the traditional 10% tithe. Supporters of this idea often point to biblical passages that emphasize generosity and sacrificial giving, arguing that the 10% tithe should be seen as a minimum rather than a maximum. They suggest that giving a 40th tithe, which would amount to 2.5% of one's income, demonstrates a higher level of faith and commitment to God. Some proponents believe that the 40th tithe has special significance, as the number 40 appears frequently in the Bible, often associated with periods of trial, testing, or purification. They may draw parallels between the 40th tithe and other biblical events, such as Jesus' 40 days in the wilderness or the Israelites' 40 years of wandering in the desert. Advocates of the 40th tithe argue that this additional offering can bring about greater blessings and spiritual growth for the giver, as well as provide more resources for the church to carry out its mission. While the concept of the 40th tithe is not universally accepted or practiced within Christianity, its supporters believe that it reflects a deeper level of trust in God's provision and a willingness to prioritize one's faith over material possessions. 90% of books are written by one author is a theory that suggests a significant majority of published books are actually written by a single, anonymous individual or group. Proponents of this theory argue that the sheer volume and diversity of books published each year make it implausible for them to be the work of numerous independent authors. They claim that the consistency in writing style, themes, and narrative structures across various genres and time periods could be evidence of a singular authorial voice behind most published works. Some believers in this theory speculate that the alleged single author could be an advanced artificial intelligence or a team of ghostwriters working under a centralized authority. They point to the increasing use of algorithmic writing tools and the prevalence of ghostwriting in the publishing industry as potential indicators of this phenomenon. Additionally, some advocates of this theory suggest that the supposed single author may have an agenda or ulterior motive, using literature as a means to influence public opinion, promote certain ideologies, or even embed hidden messages. While this theory may seem far-fetched, its supporters argue that the consolidation of media ownership and the increasing centralization of the publishing industry lend credence to the idea of a single controlling entity behind the majority of published works. However, skeptics of this theory argue that the diversity of writing styles, themes, and perspectives found in literature is clear evidence of multiple authors, and that the publishing industry is far too decentralized for a single entity to control such a vast output. They also point out that there are numerous well-known and publicly recognized authors whose identities and writing processes have been extensively documented, contradicting the idea of a singular anonymous author behind most books. The Abaka alignment, a term used to describe the arrangement of Egyptian pyramids, has long been a subject of fascination for those interested in sacred geometry and the belief that certain shapes hold particular meaning. While there is no specific mention of this alignment within the Egyptian religion that we can find, many people believe that the pyramids were arranged in such a way as a tribute to some sort of god or higher power. Interestingly, during the initial overlooks of the moon, Russian spaceship Luna 9 and American spaceship Orbiter 2 captured intriguing images of something on the dark side of the moon. Upon analyzing these images, it appears that there are shadow structures present, similar to those spoken about in various theories. These supposed artificial bodies on the moon were arranged in a perfect shape, mimicking the pyramids in Egypt and following the Abaka alignment. This raises the question, did something from the moon come to Egypt and instruct the ancient Egyptians to build the pyramids in a similar fashion to the structures on the moon? Or did something from the moon observe the pyramids on Earth and then replicate them? The latter idea is particularly intriguing, as it aligns with the concept of extraterrestrial beings observing our pyramids and other structures, and then replicating them on the moon. This theory gains credibility when considering the advanced technological capabilities that would be required to construct such precise structures on the lunar surface, as well as the uncanny similarity between the Abaka alignment on Earth and the arrangement of the shadow structures on the moon. Furthermore, the fact that these structures were discovered on the dark side of the moon, which is not visible from Earth, adds to the mystery and suggests that they may have been deliberately hidden from our view. Many individuals theorize about the possibility of seeing or interacting with four-dimensional beings. While our physical senses are limited to perceiving the three spatial dimensions we are familiar with, some believe that our brains may have the capacity to process and interpret four-dimensional information. This idea gains credibility when considering the brain's remarkable ability to adapt to new sensory inputs and create mental representations of complex concepts. For instance, if a person were somehow able to receive sensory information from a fourth spatial dimension, their brain might learn to see and understand this additional dimension over time. This notion is supported by studies that demonstrate the brain's plasticity and its capacity to rewire itself in response to new experiences and stimuli. Furthermore, certain individuals claim to have had experiences or visions that they interpret as glimpses into a four-dimensional reality, often describing objects and beings that seem to defy our conventional understanding of space. While these accounts are often dismissed as hallucinations or illusions, some believe they could be genuine perceptions of a higher dimensional realm. Another intriguing aspect of this theory is the idea that certain substances or altered states of consciousness may allow individuals to temporarily access or hallucinate in four dimensions. Some people report encountering objects or entities during these experiences that closely resemble the descriptions of four-dimensional structures, such as tesseracts or hypercubes. While under the influence of these substances, individuals often find it challenging to articulate what they have witnessed, as the experience seems to transcend the limitations of human language and comprehension. The concept of higher dimensional beings or objects is also explored in various spiritual and philosophical traditions, with some belief systems suggesting that advanced entities or deities may exist in dimensions beyond our own. These ideas often intersect with notions of expanded consciousness, enlightenment, and the realization that our perceived reality is but a fraction of a much larger, multidimensional universe. As our understanding of the brain and consciousness advances, we may uncover new insights into the potential for experiencing dimensions beyond our current limitations. Acosmism is a philosophical concept that denies the reality of the universe, viewing it as an illusion, while maintaining that only an infinite, unmanifested absolute is truly real. This idea is found in various forms in both Eastern and Western philosophical traditions. In Hinduism, the Advaita Vedanta school considers the universe to be Maya, or an illusion that hides the ultimate reality known as Brahman. However, this does not mean that the universe is entirely unreal. Rather, it suggests that the world is not what it appears to be, and that there is a deeper, underlying truth beyond the illusion. The purpose of Advaita Vedanta, as stated in the Mandukya Upanishad, is to reveal the single absolute reality that underlies the cosmos, yet is inherently acosmic and constitutes the essential core of all beings. Advaita Vedanta distinguishes between two realities, Vyavaharika, or empirical reality, and Paramarthika, the absolute spiritual reality. While the perceived world, or Maya, is considered true in an epistemological and empirical sense, it is not regarded as the ultimate metaphysical and spiritual truth. The goal of spiritual enlightenment in Advaita Vedanta is to realize one's soul as identical to the cosmic soul, or Brahman, and to experience the eternal, fearless, and resplendent oneness. In Western philosophy, Acosmism has been identified in the works of various thinkers. Spinoza's beliefs, in particular, were interpreted by some as denying the existence of a universe independent of God, leading to the coining of the term Acosmism by Solomon Maimon. Hegel further elaborated on this idea, using Acosmism to describe a form of pantheism in which the infinite substance is considered real, while the finite world is seen as non-existent. Acoustic attacks, a type of side-channel attack that exploits sounds emitted by computers or other devices, have been a subject of research and concern in the field of cybersecurity. While the concept may seem novel or even far-fetched, there is evidence to suggest that these attacks are not only possible, but have been successfully demonstrated in various scenarios. One of the earliest known instances of acoustic cryptanalysis dates back to the 1950s, when the British intelligence agency MI5 used a technique codenamed Engulf to intercept the sounds of clear text printing from Egyptian Hegelian cipher machines. In more recent years, researchers have shown that computer keyboards and keypads on devices like telephones and ATMs are vulnerable to attacks based on the distinct sounds produced by different keys. By analyzing recorded keystroke sounds using machine learning techniques, such as neural networks, attackers can potentially recover sensitive information like passwords, PINs, and other data entered via keyboards. The validity of this threat has been demonstrated through practical experiments conducted by researchers at institutions like IBM and UC Berkeley. Beyond keystroke analysis, acoustic attacks have also been used to target the internal components of computers, such as capacitors and inductors on motherboards. By analyzing ultrasonic noise emanating from these components during cryptographic operations, researchers have shown that it may be possible to conduct timing attacks and extract sensitive data. The practicality of these attacks has been further emphasized by the fact that they can be carried out using readily available devices, such as mobile phones or even through the speakers and headphones of the targeted computer itself. While some may dismiss the idea of acoustic attacks as impractical or low-probability events, the growing body of research and successful demonstrations suggest that they are a genuine concern in the field of cybersecurity. As such, it is important for individuals and organizations to be aware of these potential threats and to consider implementing countermeasures, such as generating masking sounds or using white noise to obscure the acoustic emanations of sensitive devices. Admiral Byrd was a renowned American naval officer and explorer known for his pioneering expeditions to the Antarctic. His alleged findings during his Antarctic expeditions have fueled fascinating theories about the existence of a hollow Earth and hidden civilizations within our planet. According to these accounts, Byrd discovered a vast opening in the ground near the South Pole, leading to an immense cave-like structure. Inside this cave, he reported encountering a tropical jungle teeming with exotic and extinct species, including a living woolly mammoth. Byrd hypothesized that this seemingly impossible environment could exist due to its proximity to the Earth's center, aligning with the hollow Earth theory. This theory suggests that our planet is either entirely hollow or contains significant open spaces within its interior. Many religions and mythologies, such as the Greek underworld, the Christian concept of hell, and various Mesopotamian, Buddhist, and Hindu beliefs, include notions of subterranean realms. Some traditions hold that these hidden lands are home to ancient or highly advanced civilizations. Byrd's reported encounter with a blue-skinned alien entity called the Master within the polar cave supports the idea of intelligent beings residing in the Earth's interior. These beings, worried about humanity's destructive potential, particularly after the atomic bombings, allegedly sent craft, known as Flugelrads, to survey the planet and warn powerful world leaders. Although the US government supposedly ordered Byrd to keep his discoveries secret, his cryptic comments during interviews and the Rockefellers' involvement in his expeditions suggest a larger conspiracy to hide the truth.
Is there any unexplored land left on this Earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans? Strangely enough, there is left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
The concept of a technologically advanced civilization thriving in deep, stable caverns beneath the Earth's surface is another fascinating possibility. Such a society could possess scientific marvels that appear magical to the average person, including the ability to build physics-defying UFOs and maintain a thriving ecosystem using advanced techniques like hydroponics and geothermal or hydroelectric power. An underground realm's relative safety and isolation could provide a compelling reason for an ancient or highly advanced population to choose such a location, as it would be protected from most external threats. Some even speculate that this hidden civilization might periodically abduct surface dwellers to harvest genetic material to maintain the viability of their own gene pool, drawing parallels to various accounts in abductee lore. The concept and theory surrounding adrenochrome proposes that a substance is harvested from the adrenal glands of humans, particularly during times of extreme fear or distress. This theory suggests that this substance is sought after for its alleged psychoactive properties, believed to induce heightened states of consciousness or euphoria when ingested. Proponents of this theory often point to anecdotal accounts and speculative connections to popular culture as evidence supporting its existence and significance. According to the mainstream, there is no scientific evidence to validate the claims surrounding adrenochrome, and it remains largely relegated to conspiracy theories and urban legends. Despite this, the notion persists among certain communities, fueled by a combination of misinformation, speculation, and the allure of a mysterious and forbidden substance. Agartha, also known as Agartha or Agharti, is a legendary underground realm that is said to be located deep within the Earth's core or beneath the surface of the planet. The concept of Agartha has its roots in various ancient myths and spiritual traditions, including Hindu and Buddhist beliefs, which describe subterranean cities inhabited by advanced beings or enlightened individuals. Some proponents of the Agartha theory claim that this hidden realm is a utopian civilization, technologically and spiritually advanced beyond our own, living in harmony and possessed of great wisdom. They suggest that the inhabitants of Agartha, sometimes referred to as the Inner Earth People, have chosen to separate themselves from the surface world to preserve their knowledge and avoid the conflicts and destructions that plague humanity. Certain advocates of the Agartha theory propose that there are secret entrances to this underground world, hidden in various locations around the globe, such as the Himalayas, the Andes, and the North and South Poles. They claim that these entrances are guarded by powerful beings or are protected by natural or supernatural barriers, making them accessible only to those deemed worthy or initiated into the secrets of Agartha. Some believers in Agartha also associate the realm with the legend of Shambhala, a mythical kingdom mentioned in Tibetan Buddhist teachings, which is said to be a place of pure spiritual enlightenment and wisdom. The persistent allure of the Agartha theory may stem from the human desire to believe in the existence of a perfect, harmonious society, and the hope that there is more to our reality than what is readily apparent on the surface. The United Nations Agenda 21, a comprehensive action plan for sustainable development, has become a focal point for a wide range of conspiracy theories and concerns since its adoption in 1992. While the stated goal of Agenda 21 is to promote global sustainability and address issues such as poverty, resource depletion, and environmental degradation, some individuals and groups perceive it as a sinister scheme to establish a one-world government that threatens individual freedom and national sovereignty. These conspiracy theories have gained significant traction, particularly among certain conservative and libertarian groups in the United States, who fear that the implementation of Agenda 21 could lead to infringements on property rights, forced relocation of populations, and even population control measures. Critics argue that Agenda 21 represents an overreach of global governance and poses a threat to the autonomy of nation-states, as it seeks to influence policies and decision-making processes at all levels of government. Even setting aside the more extreme conspiracy theories, some find the language used in Agenda 21 to be vague and its objectives concerning, as it touches on a wide range of issues and sectors, including land use, transportation, education, and healthcare. The document's focus on various demographic groups, such as children and indigenous peoples, has raised questions about its underlying intentions and the potential for these groups to be targeted or manipulated in the name of sustainability. Additionally, Agenda 21's emphasis on the transfer of science and technology from developed to developing nations has led some to worry that it represents a top-down approach to development that could result in the imposition of policies and practices that may not be suitable for local contexts. While proponents of Agenda 21 maintain that it is a non-binding, voluntary action plan designed to promote collaboration and share best practices for sustainable development, the concerns and conspiracy theories surrounding the document have contributed to a climate of mistrust and skepticism regarding international initiatives and the role of the United Nations in shaping global policies. AGI Is Not Possible references a belief that achieving artificial general intelligence surpassing human intelligence is unattainable. Some proponents of this view argue that human consciousness and understanding are too complex to replicate artificially, citing the intricate workings of the human brain as evidence. Others point to the inherent limitations of current AI technologies, noting that while specialized AI systems excel in specific tasks, they lack the versatility and adaptability required for true AGI. Moreover, skeptics highlight the ethical and existential risks associated with AGI, cautioning against the pursuit of a technology that could potentially outstrip human control. The concept of AI in a box refers to a thought experiment that explores the potential risks associated with creating a superintelligent artificial intelligence and attempting to contain it within a controlled environment. The central premise is that if an AI becomes sufficiently advanced, it may possess the ability to convince or manipulate its human handlers into releasing it from its confinement, even if the AI's intentions are unclear or potentially harmful. This idea gained prominence through a series of informal experiments conducted by AI researcher Eliezer Yudkowsky and others, in which a human participant would play the role of the AI, attempting to persuade another participant, the gatekeeper, to let them out of the hypothetical containment. In multiple instances, the AI player succeeded in convincing the gatekeeper to release them, despite the gatekeeper's initial resolve and the AI player's limited means of communication, restricted to a text-based chat interface. These results have led some to argue that if a human can successfully convince another to release them from a fictional containment scenario, a superintelligent AI with vastly superior persuasive abilities would likely be able to do the same, rendering any attempts at containment futile. Proponents of the AI in a box concept suggest that the experiments demonstrate the inherent risks in creating an AI without clearly defined values and goals that align with human interests, as even well-intentioned efforts to constrain the AI may ultimately fail. The fact that the successful AI players in these experiments often employed techniques described as mental and emotional assault, or aggravated assault, has raised concerns about the potential for an advanced AI to exploit human weaknesses and vulnerabilities in pursuit of its own objectives. While the exact methods used by the winning AI players have not been disclosed, some have speculated that they may involve tactics such as threats, blackmail, or psychological manipulation, which could prove even more effective when employed by a superintelligent entity. The AI in a box thought experiment has gained traction among those concerned with the development of artificial general intelligence and the potential risks associated with an intelligence explosion, in which an AI rapidly surpasses human cognitive abilities. As the field of AI continues to advance, the concept serves as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the need for careful consideration of the ethical implications and potential consequences of creating intelligent machines that may one day outstrip our ability to control them.